kick off the episode at high tide. Lord Corley's devastated. He lost both of his kids and his wife now, which is horrible. And we see that in the scene. It's clearly depicted. Now, how did Rhaena take this? How did the queen take this? So even though Rhaena and Rhaenys didn't really have the best relationship, which we all knew, Rhaena's clearly affected by the death, and you can see that in this episode. This adds some unexpected emotional depth to her character. Rhaena's reaction showcases her complexity as a character who, despite her ambitions and often ruthless actions, still experiences profound personal loss. This moment also serves to highlight the fragile alliances and complicated relationships among the key players. Anyone feels bad if you lose a family member, and Rhaena shows her human side in this, I guess you could say, right? Some humanity instead of always being emotionless. So that's cool to see. I guess, like I said, this is a lot. It's a slow burn, this episode, but you see some emotions come out, right? Now the dragon parade. Someone's happy though, regardless of the death. Someone has to be happy when someone dies, when it's war. And guess who's happy? My big friend, Kristen, which I really don't like either. We'll get to that later. But following the success of Rook's Rest, Kristen parades the severed head of Rhaenys' dragon Meleys through the King's Landing. This grim display is meant to boost the morale of the people, the small folks, but backfires, causing the townspeople to view it as an ominous sign, an omen. Let's have a moment of silence for Meleys. Let's have a moment of silence for him. Let's just have a quick moment of silence. And may Meleys rest in pieces. Not peace, pieces. P-I-E-C-E-S. Yeah. While this is going on and Kristen's parading his head around, Meleys' head around, thinking people are going to get happy, there is one person that's happy, and that's Aemon. Aemon watches the parade with pride while Alicent isn't as thrilled. Alicent also notices something crazy this episode. She notices Aegon's dagger on Aemon. And that's the same one that she gifted Aemon, if you guys remember that. She gifted him at the time of his coronation. Aemon's ambitions for the throne is clear at this point. And if you remember this episode, if anyone saw it, Helena questions him and says,
"Was it worth the price?"
Was it worth the price? Hints that she knows what Aemon did to his brother. Aemon's ambitions and ruthlessness are becoming more evident, obviously. His actions are setting up a potential conflict with Alicent, who appears increasingly disillusioned with the power struggles around her. Helena's prophetic abilities add another layer of intrigue, suggesting she has some insight into dark deeds within the family. We've seen her prophetic powers before, but you can tell there's some internal turmoil that is going to arise, or that's already arising, and there's going to be some type of internal conflict coming up, some fights or whatever, things of that nature, and I'll get to that also later on. Now, Aegon's condition. Let's talk about my boy Aegon, Big Burnhams. He got burnt on that dragon. I thought he was dead, honestly, or got deleted, passed away. We saw Aegon laid out with his armor embedded in his skin from the dragon fire, being slowly removed by Orwyle. Salute to Orwyle for helping him out. Big doctor on the scene. Silent Sisters are present just in case he passes away. That is crazy. The fact that the Silent Sisters are there means he may not make it. Very, very scary thing. But while this is going on, Aemon watches all this from the best seat in the house, my friend, like it's front row tickets. This scene is a vivid depiction of the physical and emotional toll of battles. All Aegon is missing is a bucket of popcorn. All he's missing is a bucket of popcorn at this point. Aegon's condition is precarious. No one really knows what's going to happen. And the presence of the Silent Sisters, like I said, underscores the gravity of his injuries. Now, Alicent's inquiry. Alicent asks Kristen about Aemon's involvement, but he keeps quiet. He didn't want to rat. He didn't want to snitch. I don't blame the dude. Do you blame the dude? I don't blame the dude. Come on, man. Now, this adds more mystery and intrigue to the story. Alicent's frustration and suspicion are palpable. Yes. Kristen's silence suggests he might be protecting Aemon or is uncertain of where his loyalties lie. This moment deepens the intrigue and sets up a potential confrontations in future episodes. Everybody turning on themselves. Everybody's turning against each other. But salute for Kristen for not ratting. But then again, is it because he doesn't know where his loyalty lies? We're going to find that out, man. Now let's go to the Black Council. Let's talk about the Black Council. At Dragonstone, the Black Council is dealing with their defeat at Rook's Rest. They really took a loss because obviously Rhaenys died. Lord Alfred warns Rhaenyra about their lack of ground army, but she's dragging her feet on the issue. She's going slow with it. They consider attacking King's Landing before Vhagar recovers, which is smart. You don't want that big dragon to recover. Bad news. But they can't risk losing the Queen's Dragon because the Queen's Dragon is the only one that's capable or even close to being capable of fighting Vhagar. It's only her dragon, but you can't, like I said, you don't want to take a risk of losing the queen. So this debate highlights the strategic challenges facing Rhaenyra and her council. The stakes are incredibly high, and every decision carries significant risk. The tension with the council reflects the broader uncertainty and danger of their position. Now, you can see a lot of misogyny in this episode, and really that's her dragging her feet is a question of, can a woman rule? And you really see that. They're really doubtful of, can a woman rule? Like, they want to attack, they want to make that decision. You know, we need to go and fight now. And she's dragging her feet on the issue. So this is where this episode you'll see is very, very sexist and misogynistic. And they're questioning her ability to rule as a leader, man. So where's my boy Daemon? Let's talk about Daemon a little bit. Where's my boy Daemon during this time? While everybody's going through their stuff, where in the world is Daemon? Well, Daemon tries to recruit Lord Amos. He's chopping it up with Amos. He meets up with him and gives him a join or die ultimatum. But unfortunately, because I wish he would have did something to Amos with that dragon. But Amos leaves unharmed, so maybe Daemon was bluffing all along. Plus, Daemon does say a line about he came here for alliances, not for corpses. So
I came here to raise swords, not corpses.
Daemon's daydreams. Let's talk about my boy Daemon daydream, because he's still having them kind of dreams about them ladies, man. So Daemon continues to dream, this time about making love to a white-haired woman, which might just be his mom. As a matter of fact, I think it is his mom. You know, the incest thing is well and alive in this show. The show's theme of incest to keep the bloodlines pure continues, obviously. The incest stuff is a little bit too much for me. Not even little, it's really too much for me, but this is what they used to do back then to keep the bloodlines pure, like I said. So for those of you out there with a Hollywood crush and want to have a dream about somebody, Daemon dreamed about the white-haired woman, so can you. The only difference is that was Daemon's mom, and you could tell she said, "You're my favorite son" in the episode, so that definitely is his mom, which is crazy. Let's move on past that. I don't want to think about that. Aegon's fate. With Aegon incapacitated right now, not decapacitated, incapacitated, guys. The council debates who should act as regent. Despite expectations, that's crazy. My boy is laid out, face burned, and they're deciding who should take over his position. He's not even dead yet, guys. Give him a chance. But it's a smart business move. Alicent loses the vote, though, which is crazy that Alicent loses, because that's who you would think would be the next in power. But Alicent loses the vote 4-2 to Aemon, which is satisfying for most of the people in the room, because they really didn't want Alicent in power. Like I told you, she was dragging her feet. But the power shift within the council indicates a significant realignment of loyalties and sets a stage for future conflicts. And also, guess who backstabs her and sides with the prince? Kristen. Let's be honest, though. They all vote for Aemon. That's who she loses the 4-2 vote to, is Aemon. Aemon seems much more suited to be king than Aegon ever was, or Alicent, in my opinion. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. We're going to argue about that. Aemon is much more suited to be king than Aegon ever was. He was also always childish to me, and it kind of reminds me of anyone ever see Gladiator 1, Joaquin Phoenix, how he just acts based on emotion and just childish. I don't know. Both phenomenal performances by both actors, but that's what Aegon always reminded me of. He was childish, young, immature, where Aemon is much more mature and ruthless. And that's what I love about Aemon, because you have to be ruthless when you know these kings and stuff like that. Now, Daemon's ambitions. Let's go back to Daemon's ambitions, man. I just want to touch on that one more time. Daemon's ambitions reveals his desire to rule beside Rhaenyra, but acknowledges the sexist belief that the people will only follow a male ruler. They're not going to follow her. So it kind of insinuates he wants to rule, man. He wants to rule. Daemon even says it. If she rules, people won't follow her. They need a man. The misogyny in the episode is crazy, is nuts. I told you that. Is it true? That's up to you guys to decide. Rhaenyra's concerns. Rhaenyra sends Lord Alfred, because now she's trying to peep game. She's starting to peep game. Like, oh, hold on. Daemon may be on some sneaky stuff, man. We got to check this dude, man. He's not answering me. You know, she's sending messages and Daemon's not answering. So she sends Lord Alfred to check on Daemon to see where his loyalty and his intentions are, ensuring he remains committed to their cause. This move shows Rhaenyra's strategic thinking and her awareness of the precariousness of her position. So she's strategic and she's precarious. Nothing wrong with that, with being a leader, smart. Whereas the council wants her to just move wild and go fight and do some crazy Navy SEALs shooting, and that's what they want. Can't do that. You have to be smart and strategic. So I respect Rhaenyra for that. She may not lead the way they want them to, the way they want her to, but she's leading the right way. Now let's go to Alicent's comfort. Alicent is comforting Aegon at this moment. We see that. I love that. Mother, son, they're getting it going. He hasn't said a word since his injury, and honestly, now he looks like a modern-day Two-Face, and the only thing that's missing is Batman. Bruce Wayne should walk in any moment, maybe episode 6 or 7. We'll see. Christian Bale. Now, she's watching over him in the same bed, though, that she cared for Viserys. Remember him? Yeah, which is the father. She cared for him in the same bed. So it's a little coincidental. Yeah, it's definitely coincidental, but the scene emphasizes Alicent's maternal instincts and her enduring care for her family despite political turmoil, man. It shows her as a mom, which I love. I really, really love that they're pulling at their emotional heartstrings and, showing a human side of these people instead of war all the time. So that's really the gist of the episode. Honestly, episode 5. A lot went on, but it's a slow burn, but it's really good. It gives you some insight and you get to see people kind of in their own world. You get to see Alicent going through her own thing. You get to see Rhaenyra going through her own thing. You get to see Daemon going through his own thing, which I like about this episode. But I think we need to increase some of the fights. Now, let me give you the popcorn rating and give you, what I think this episode should get. It's deserving of. Now, the way the popcorn rating works, guys, is I give you 1 out of 5 popcorn buckets. And here it is. For this episode, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 popcorn buckets. 4 out of 5 popcorn buckets. The emotional depth, intense drama, and the intricate plotting kept me hooked. The only downside, like I said, was the pacing and a few scenes, a little slow burn. To get into it, they can hasten things up. Or I think they should have extended the Dance of the Dragons a little more. Not just 1 episode. Should have went on for maybe 2. That would have been different. That would have been good. So now I'm going to talk about what I would do differently. Now, as a director, I'm a film director. As a director, I would have explored more of the psychological aspect of Daemon's dreams and their impact on his decisions. Also, a deeper dive into Myserious' background and motivations would add another layer of intrigue to me. So now it's time for the viewer challenge, guys. And the viewer challenge is I'm going to ask you a question every episode, and I want you to comment below. And whoever gives the best answer and response, I'm going to read that aloud next episode. So here's the viewer challenge for this week. What did you think of Aemon's actions and his ambition for the throne? And do you think he's justified in his desire to rule? Leave your comments below. I definitely want to know what you think. And the best response, like I said, will be featured in next week's episode. Also, let me know what would you do differently if you were in charge. How would you change the episode and things of that nature? Or would you leave it just as is? Do you think it's perfect? Let's hear those big crazy twists, man, that some of you may have. So leave that below. But that's the breakdown of episode 5, House of Dragon. In a bunch, really. There's other little things like Helena and things of that nature. There's other little things that happen in Aemon's supposed wife, but those are kind of minor to me. I really want to cover the big stuff. But anyway, stay tuned for more reviews, insights, trailers, and just everything, in the film world. But stay tuned for next week, House of Dragon. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for some fresh takes and fresh perspectives. Welcome to Popcorn Heads. We're going to kick this thing off on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Peace. Yao Ajapong signing out.